Do you remember the last words that I told you? You told me to tell you. You told me to tell you to remember that I love you. Man, oh man. This episode of Teen Wolf was pretty damn cool to see Stiles and Peter, to say the least. This episode was pretty cool. It was titled Radio Silence, and today I want to talk to you guys about Teen Wolf, Season 6, final season, Episode 5. Again, radio titled Radio Silence, and we got a lot of that today. A lot of white noise, actually. Um, we finally get to see the reemergence of Stiles. Now, if you all recall, this basically the whole beginning of this season is framed around Styles disappearing and a bunch of people disappearing and their existence just being erased from reality all indefinitely. And we see the two sisters get reunited as well, if you recall. One twin sister was actually taken by the Ghost Riders prior to this, and her twin sister was looking for her, and everyone, and she was all in the locker room telling everybody, well, "Why don't you remember her? Why don't you remember her?" A girl by the name of Quinn and her sister was taken. You saw her in the Beacon Hills lacrosse uniform. She was taken out. She was taken at a game, but last week's episode, and she reunited with her sister. Amidst the Ghost Riders, blazing this place, at the weight station, and we see Peter. And I really expected Peter to show up because we haven't seen him since season 5, since he was put away in Icon House, and I was wondering how the hell he got out there. How did he get in there? Well, it turns out, Peter knew about the Ghost Riders and what they were capable of. Telling Stiles that, hey, listen, they ride on the lightning. They're called Ghost Riders. And once you're stuck in here in this illusion, you're gone forever. You're forgotten forever. And he's telling Stiles all about it. Turns out the way Peter actually got there was, I believe the Ghost Riders electricity must have destroyed how the locks on the cages that erupted into a riot. Letting every criminal out. As you saw, the guys trying to detain all the prisoners. And Peter just casually just walking by them, having to knock out one of the guards that was pretty sliced up, just by grabbing his arm, hitting his face up against the wall. We saw Peter through his memory, we saw him in his cell, drawing the family hail circle, to unite the pack. He was driven insane, as we can see. And we see him go out to the car with his jacket on, and the lightning bolt strikes, and we see one of the Ghost Riders on horseback, and we see another one right behind him. They didn't notice. He shows his eyes and fangs, and then he turns around and he shot point blank range by the other one right behind him like a bitch. But with all that being said, this was a pretty good episode. We saw that. Then we see Peter and Styles trying to devise a plan how to get out of there. Now, prior to going through the doors a couple of times, Styles trying to get out of there, they see one of the kids, and I believe one of these kids was the one that was actually captured by the Ghost Riders that Liam and Corey saw at the library. I believe his name was Justin something. And, he's been there for a while, you can tell, as he was telling him, because as Styles said, as Styles pointed out, you look like you've been here a while, look like you were forming a plan, so what is it? And the kid told him, no one's ever tried the doors before, because Styles was, going through the door. He went through there twice, and he looks like he had a lot of experience. So he said, I've been timing the Ghost Riders when they come in, when they come out. And I guess one of his ideas was, why don't I jump on the back of them trying to go through the portal? Well, of course that didn't work because the kid's not supernatural. He's mortal, and he actually was evaporated before their very eyes, which prompted Peter's comical response as, "Yeah, anything that really worked," or something of that variation. We saw a little heart to heart with Peter and Styles, because you see Peter take out Styles' wallet. He says, "Okay, let's see your money." He threw that up in the air. His credit card, his ID. He said, "None of that exists. You don't exist. I don't exist. No one's gonna come for you." And you see Styles tell Peter, Scott, Malia, Lydia, they're all gonna remember me. No one's gonna remember you. And Peter just said, "Well, you know what, sweetheart, tell me when you devise a plan so we can get the hell out of here." And it turns out, during one of the guys who spoke over the intercom, Styles follows the line to where the intercom's from. It turns out no one was there. It's actually been deserted from the looks of it, 100 years or so. And so you see Styles trying to work the ham radio, and at this time as well, you have to remember at school in the parking lot, the Jeep is getting the Roscoe, the Jeep. That's the name of Styles' Jeep. Roscoe is about to get impounded, and you happen to see Lydia and Scott having to pay for it so they won't get impounded. And you see it starts to, Lydia's the only one that has a half clear conscience of who Styles is. You have to recall that because no one else believes in you. Malia is pretty much done with it until tonight's episode as well. And Stiles, Scott picks up all three of their scents in that Jeep, but they don't recall being in that Jeep. And so that radio goes off, and they all hear it, and because again, Stiles is trying to reach them through the old ham radio at there, they get the VIN number. They go to Stilinski's house where his mother and father is, and they said, well, we haven't really touched that little old piece of junk in a long time, in 18 years. And you see Lydia get emotional because she's the only one that believes that Stiles is alive, wholeheartedly, while everyone else is just still stuck in confusion. And then that all changes when they hear Peter roar in agony because he decides to jump on the back of one of the Ghost Riders and goes to the tunnel, the portal. And he's severely burned. This is probably his third or fourth time being burned, I believe, throughout the entire series. Ouch. And so, seeing this was pretty cool. I liked seeing this togetherness. And, at the end, finally you see, Scott and Lydia remember Stiles completely, through, ambiages of memory. We saw Peter have up the guts to jump on the back of the Ghost Riders to go through the portal because he remembered Malia, his daughter. And, that was a really good scene. That was a really good scene. I like to see that. I think Peter now, he's a lot lighter, a little bit more lighthearted now, not as heavy-hearted, And so, that was really good to see that. I look forward to next week's episode. I look forward to this entire season, being that it is the Pharaoh season. I've always been a fan of Teen Wolf and everything like that. You see the emotional moment between Scott, Lydia and Stiles, and all Stiles told him was just remember Canaan. You have to go to Canaan because that's one of the names listed up on the waiting list. There's Beacon Hills, another name, and then there's Canaan. So I look forward to next week's episode. This is your boy Chip Streets. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and all that other jazz, man. I love y'all, man. Thank you for all the watches. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all the subscribers. Thank you for everything, all the comments. I love you guys. Have a great holiday season, man. This is going to be great. I love y'all.